Welcome to another episode of Behind the Now. Today I get to chat with writer, director, and producer Azadeh Nikzadeh. Originally from Iran, Azadeh's award-winning films capture rarely heard political human rights stories and characters who are often misunderstood by society. Her political drama feature script is currently a second rounder at Sundance Writing Lab, and she is the sole Iranian recipient of the 2010 Asian Film Academy Fellowship. Listen in to learn more about Azadeh's journey, from leaving Iran's strict censorship regulations in order to freely create her truthful stories through film, as well as the nitty-gritty of her tremendously impactful directing style, screenwriting craft, and filmmaking process. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it, and I was excited to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm
Yeah,
very
of course.
excited.
So you are a director, a producer, and a writer. So I'm gonna just ask you first, how did you get to where you are? How did you know you wanted to do this? How did you learn the craft? Yeah.
Okay. So as I said, I write, direct, also produce, and with the focus on development. That's what I like. I always worked like on political, social, and human rights stories, characters and events that are really talked about or really heard of.
Right.
And that these are the subject matters that I really like. That's been always like I think like since childhood I was like that. I always wanted to be on the side of the people that are less advantage, have less advantage, and that's why I think that's also the reason for me to be a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And I'm originally from Iran. I came here 10 years ago.
Okay.
Almost 10 years ago, yes. And that was like being from Iran means politics and social issues are always right in front of you. And you always deal with it all the time. And that was like, I think that's a very important reason that I chose to be a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And because like when you make films, especially like social issues, it brings light, to the subject.
Right.
And it's also an opportunity to
Yeah.
think, and to ponder. So that's why. And how I got here, oh my God, it's such a long story.
You can go for it. So I was gonna ask you that next.
So I started from Iran, and I'm not from the capital. I'm from a city in southwest of Iran called Shiraz, and like the wine.
Yeah.
And that's why I was it's like the wine Shiraz, and it's very famous for its artists and writers and poetry. Yes, and such a beautiful place. But when I started, oh my God, back then it was kind of very difficult to be a filmmaker because the resources was kind of very limited. And then also in Iran, we have to deal with censorship, which was another layer of difficulty.
Say that again. With what?
Censorship.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we had to, it's another layer of difficulty. So for me, it was just like the only way for me to continue work is just like focus on myself, focus on what I want to do, and always find ways. And especially like from Iran, I learned that always include the other side, the side that probably don't like me.
Right.
I think that was the best lesson I learned, and I can even like use it here. Always include people that might not like you.
Yeah.
Always respect your audience.
Right. Do you mean like the other perspective? Like if you're dealing with a controversial subject, for instance, like you include that other side as well?
Yes, or
Yeah.
yes, or tell that in a matter that um it's less provocative for them.
Right. Like it doesn't,
Put it
yeah,
under layer, like something that we had to do in Iran was just
right.
like create layers of
So
stories and put
interesting.
things
Yeah.
under it. So it's just a touch, but that touch tells a lot, that touch is very
Yeah.
important. Yeah. So that was the thing that I learned from Iran, I think. And I at that time I was angry why I had to go through that. Like I had to face censorship. I had to have like it's and also it's not easy being a woman in Iran and all that. I was very angry about it. But when I came here, I saw that, oh my God, it's actually helping me. I
Mm.
learned
Oh, that's
something and I can
beautiful.
use
Yeah.
it. Maybe it's not like in that same censorship, but here in this country, I also have like audiences that might not like me,
Mm.
and I kind of learn how to handle that.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Talk a little bit more about the censorship. Like what's the process of creating a project in Iran if you've done that before? Or like did you do everything here? Did you learn here?
No. I did.
Oh,
I made
okay.
some films in Iran. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that.
I was very active.
Okay.
Oh my God. So it's a very difficult project process.
Hmm.
Because if you want to make a film, first you have to take the script to the Ministry of Art
Hmm.
and get permission. They have to pass that. So, okay, this is something that we allow to be made.
Yes. And
Um,
is that like government related?
yes,
Oh
yes.
my
It's like
God.
government.
Okay.
Government controls everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they read it, and then there is this long criteria that your film has to go through. And most of the time, whatever I wanted to make was not really qualified for that. And
Yeah.
at that time, like I know that for sure that these days you cannot do it, but in the past we were able to, for example, there was like script
Hmm.
that would get a pass,
Okay.
and we just changed the name of the script and use it again to
Oh,
get the permission for
interesting.
our script. Yeah, so
So, because the
that's what I did.
people, yeah, so the people reading them there are obviously not people in art or entertainment or anything. They're just like looking at it to make sure it follows some rules that they.
Rules,
Okay.
yes, like it doesn't have like it doesn't have negative connotation. There is
Right.
nothing political there. Like being political is important thing. So it's very, everything is very limited, you
Yeah.
know. So and then after that, after you get that permission, you should get the permission from police department,
Oh
which is
my gosh.
you hear also you need that, but it's very easy. But in Iran, you have
Yeah.
to get that also, and it's also the same thing. They read the script, they go through that, and then um, you have to also like let them know that you're filming and all
Right.
that. If you have a camera, you should have like permission for that.
Wait, so did you say police department?
Yeah, and then you have to go to
Okay,
get
that's
and
what I
meet
thought.
police. Yeah.
You don't do that here, do you?
Oh, we do if you're filming outside.
Oh, yes, for like the permits and stuff. Yeah,
Yes,
I
but
wasn't thinking of it
not.
in terms of that for some reason, but that makes
No,
sense.
yeah,
Right.
but but honestly, it's the same process of like going through. They read the script and
Oh,
they
they, yeah.
yes. So there's another part as well.
Okay. Because here, I don't
And
think they read the script and everything, right?
no, they don't
Yeah,
care what
they
you
just,
make.
yeah. Okay.
And
Oh, wow.
but what they care about what you make, they care about
Yeah.
like the message. So they read the script because they're looking for the message.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, so they want to make sure that
Every message and art or anything has to be filtered through the government and through the
the
police, it sounds like. Okay.
yes. And after that, with all these difficulties, you might end up making your film, you spend all the money, all the time, and then they might not let you screen your film.
Oh gosh. So you could have made it. Okay, so do they have to approve of it after it's been filmed too?
Oh
They watch
yes, they're
it?
gonna
Okay.
watch the film. They're gonna go through another censorship,
Oh,
remove this shot, remove that shot, and after that, even with that, they might not give you permits to
right.
screen it. You know, you want your film to be
Yeah, of
seen.
course. Especially you've invested everything at that point. You've written it, you've taken the time, you've casted it, you've filmed it, you've invested in it.
Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
gosh.
So it was
Yeah.
so difficult. Like, you know, I think like in Iran for Iranian filmmakers, it's just like you make the film and you send it to foreign film festivals. Most of the
Oh,
time, that's the only passage for you for your film to be
interesting.
seen.
Mhm.
And I was like, and then, you know, I was like, okay, it's very limited, and like, you know,
Right.
I did a little bit of like trying to evade the censorships and the system, and then I got into trouble for that a little
Oh
bit.
gosh. Okay.
Yes, yeah. So it became very difficult to make films in
Mhm.
Iran. So to explore filmmaking here because I always loved New York. I always wanted
Mhm.
to be an independent filmmaker, you know,
Yeah, that
in
is
New
really
York.
amazing.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you came here, and I assume, like, did you know anyone here? Were you
Oh, no
starting from
one.
no
I was all
one?
by myself.
And
Yeah.
did you speak, I assume you didn't speak English, right?
I had I like limited English, and then
You're
whatever I
so
learned was British
amazing.
English.
Okay,
So I said
wow.
British English and came here and people were speaking. Imagine like a Bronx accent, and I was
Mhm.
like just looking at them. I was like, wow, what did you say? I thought my English was great.
Wow, you're really incredible. So, how did you, okay, so now you're in New York. What did you do? Like, how did you start? How did you work with people? And
Yes,
yeah.
you know, like when I was in Iran, I got a fellowship from Asian Film Academy in South Korea, Busan, South Korea,
Oh,
which is
mhm.
actually a very it's very prestigious.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but I don't know here a lot about it. But it's very prestigious thing in Asia. So I got that, and it was the only representative from Iran
Mm,
in that year. So I met a couple of people, couple of Asian filmmakers there.
okay.
And then when I came here, how I started was one of them came here and he was studying filmmaking. So he took me on his set and
Mm,
I started meeting other people. And gradually, I think what really helped me was joining organizations,
okay.
and that really
Yeah.
helped me, yes, meeting
That
other
is just
people,
amazing.
yeah, and try to just make films, yeah.
Yeah, that's just so it's so inspiring. So, in Iran, you were saying though, if you want to make a film and you get it approved by the ministry and the police and you actually shoot it, if they don't let you distribute it there, you can individually decide to send it to a foreign film festival.
Yes, you can do
Okay.
that, you
Oh,
can
okay.
do that, and
Yeah.
but it's always kind of like there's always like consequences
Oh, there
for
are. Okay,
that.
so that's
Sometimes
not even like 100% allowed.
yes,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
might they might not let you leave the country, or if you come back, there's consequences. So there's
Yeah.
always, you know, whatever you do, there's always
Risk.
something, you know.
Right, right.
And it's very interesting that here, um, if you have a problem with the government, or if you get arrested or questions or
Mhm.
detained or all that, it means that you're a criminal. But the people here don't really understand that a person can get into trouble or questioned or arrested or persecuted just because of making a film, you
Right. Oh
know.
my gosh.
Or yeah, or you know, like the idea of it's they, you know, when I tell them,
Yeah.
they usually judge me. That's what I
Well,
feel.
yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
you
the
know,
truth and it's a
because they don't
problem, you
understand
know?
it. Because yeah, they don't
Yeah.
understand it. They don't have it. They think the governments are always right and they follow the rules. But when you
Yeah, it's a
live
good
under
point.
dictatorship, and I think it's true for all the dictatorships, not
Yeah.
only Iran, there is no rule.
Right.
there's
Just
no
can't
law.
have everything's filtered. It's like you don't have freedom of speech and you can't express
Yeah.
a different opinion that they don't approve of.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's not like it's criminal there.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So that's been something very I think it's very fascinating.
Yeah, I'm
It's just
sure.
like yeah, how they judge you.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
crazy. It's
Yes.
crazy. Yeah.
I hope I can
Um,
make a film, and that's like my feature film, about this sort of censorship, and my experience,
mm.
with this with censorship, and it's going to be my first feature film. So fingers
Oh,
crossed.
amazing.
Thanks.
That's so cool. Right
Yeah.
now it's a script, right? Or is it in
It's a
production yet?
script.
Okay.
I'm rewriting it. It's the fourth draft.
Oh,
Oh my
amazing.
God.
Oh,
I mean, I said, no, not fourth draft, fourth rewrite,
yeah. Okay.
which means I throw away all the drafts, the previous drafts, and started from scratch. Like a rewrite means I really start everything, plot, characters, and everything from scratch.
Okay.
So this script has been written 4 times
Right.
so
Right.
far.
And how many drafts well, it's your first feature, but how many drafts do you normally do before you feel like it's ready to show someone or?
Oh my God. I do, like, I don't believe in
Okay.
waiting
Yeah.
for pitching. I believe you pitch and you learn. So
Mm.
I pitch my script, even though it's not
It's not
completely
ready. Okay.
written.
Yeah.
Okay. And I learned a lot just by pitching my story.
Right. That's so,
It's
that makes
amazing. It
sense.
sits on you. Some people wait, some people just wait.
Right. I know. It's
Don't
both
wait.
ways.
Pitch.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's amazing advice.
Yes.
Because no matter what, like depending on who you end up working with on it, there's always changes anyways. So
Yes.
you
And
might
like
as well throw it out. Yeah.
in development, I learned something that in development, they always like to be involved from earlier on.
Oh,
That's why it's
yeah.
just like, don't be scared, have your pitch ready, pitch. The worst, you get some feedback,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you're not gonna lose anything.
hmm
So that's why that I've been sharing it, and even like
Yeah.
since the previous drafts. So for example, the third draft
hmm
got into Sundance Writing Lab second rounder, and I completed
Yeah.
the second rounder, which is like great.
Amazing. Congrats.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm doing
Incredible.
rewrites and hopefully send them again, right?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, perfect. Oh, I love that that came up.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's your process like, your writing process in general? How do you decide when an idea is worth pursuing? Because it's a lot of energy and time and everything to write, of
Yeah.
course, but I mean, we do it. But how do you decide when to pursue an idea? And then what's
Yeah.
your process with it?
So like it depends. If I'm writing a script, this is like, because I also produce documentaries as
Right.
well. But like if I'm writing it, so I have like, it's political, human rights, women empowerment stories, and it's rarely talk about. It's not something that everyone is talking about. It's not something
Mm.
that is mainstream. I want something that is misunderstood,
Mm.
judged. I always feel misunderstood and judged because I'm Middle Eastern, right? So I look at these things and then I think, okay, if I have this, because I always write it. So
Mhm.
I look at it and say, okay, if this is this story, do I have any way to make this story better?
Mhm.
To take it to the next level, improve it. And
Yeah.
so that's I think that's the beauty of development
Mhm.
and the beauty of screenwriting, is that you
Yeah.
have an event or something, and then you look at it and say, okay, can I take it to the next level? Can I make it better?
Right.
How? And that's the way,
Process, like how to
yeah,
start.
starts.
And then like nitty gritty, like do you outline
Oh
everything
yes, these are
before?
the super
Okay.
important. Yes, I have like a worksheet. I
Mhm.
spent I spent a very long time researching and doing the worksheet and developing my characters.
Mm.
I think like you need to have characters and you need
Yeah.
to have like a story.
Yeah.
Characters are very important because they also they move through the story, they move the story,
Right.
right?
Right. It's a
And then yes, and then also think about themes.
Mhm.
What are the themes that I can put there into this? I think like
Yeah.
it's very important. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
after that, and then I have outline. Then we have the worksheet, and then we have outline, and then with beat sheet. I almost like write the script with doing beat sheet and script at the same time.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, some people actually, I think some people say to have the pitch almost even before writing it, so you can
Yes.
like know what it is in one line, like what
Yes.
your story is. Yeah,
Yes.
that's so
Yes. Some
interesting.
people do like it's like log line.
Right,
So
right.
like having log line before is very important, but some people say
Mhm.
no, we want to write the story and write the script and then we read
Yeah,
the
right.
log line. I think it's important to have a log line before.
Before.
I always say like pitch before. Don't
Right,
be scared.
interesting. And
Yeah.
then if anything, like you start writing and your log line or your pitch will just change and it'll become refined, right? They'll
Yes. Yeah.
just change it. Yeah. Nothing
You know,
is set
like
in stone.
yes, you know,
Yeah.
like having your pitch and having the worksheet, it helps you. It's like a guideline.
Mhm.
So you know, for example, your themes are about, for example, home and identity. Your themes is not about like, I don't know. So if it's not,
Yeah.
if the idea that you have doesn't go through that,
Mhm.
then it's not the right, for example, for scene when you want to
Right.
think about your scenes,
Exactly. Do you
right?
ever find yourself like wanting to go in a direction that it doesn't kind of fit your theme and then you consider like, do I want to go here or do I want to stick with this theme or not so much?
Oh, I always like to expand. If it's
Okay.
something that expand my film, I do
Uh-huh.
it. You know, like most of the time, I'm never married to anything,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
to any
that's so important.
ideas,
That's
or
like,
to any.
yeah,
Some people are married to their like the first image or the last image or
right,
that this specific scene. But my rule is that don't be married to it and be ready to throw it away.
right.
And I think it's very important in writing, just to throw
Yeah.
it away. And it's very, very interesting that a lot of things that I threw away and I thought I threw away, they came back into the, like, for example, in the first, second, third, I thought, okay, I'm going to throw them away and they're done. They came
Mm-hmm.
back to me, but in a much better way,
Yeah, see,
they're
interesting.
more, yeah,
Yeah,
ripe.
that's
They're
great to
ripe
yeah.
now.
Oh,
So
so
I'm not
cool.
writing those scenes, but write something different, but the
Mhm.
essence is the same.
Right, like the purpose of those specific things like still
Yes,
come back, right? Or like the purpose
yes,
changes. That's
yeah.
amazing. So after you feel like you have a great draft and you're gonna make it, what's the process from there?
Oh my God, you need to have your pitch deck.
Okay.
Don't even make it a pitch deck beginning. I don't do that.
Okay.
So I make the pitch deck, and then you can even start having a scissor reel or
Oh,
um,
right. Do you
pitch
normally do that?
videos and
Yeah,
recount.
like a proof of concept or a treatment that you
Something,
film a short version. Is that what you
not
mean or no?
no, it's
Oh, okay.
sizzle would be like you tell the story a little bit, but also add mood and tone. It's like having a
Yeah.
pitch deck, a visual pitch deck,
Okay.
and then
That
you
makes
also
sense.
have a like you pitch on video because
Mhm.
some people like to just click the link and listen to you
Mhm.
rather than like go through the material and all that.
Mhm. Okay.
So
Yeah.
and then after that, and sometimes if you have a good for example, if you send also like send the script to get feedback to something like Sundance or other places. And if you get positive feedbacks and
Mhm.
you move, you have stuff like that. That's also good for
Oh,
the
nice.
script.
Like you can
You can
include
say,
it.
okay, there is, because you have to you have to say, hey, there is an audience. So
Exactly.
after that, it's all business.
Right.
It's not art, it's business.
Right.
Let's say there's an audience, we're gonna sell, and then it's all about packaging and who's attached and actors and all that. So I think the next step would be that. Like,
okay, amazing.
packaging it, yes.
It's so interesting. So what's your directing style like, if you could? Like, do you like to rehearse with the actors? Yeah, just talk a little bit more about that.
My directing style, I you know, like I always like to be like observant. Let's put it that way, observant, and I like to like really deeply bring out the character and the emotions and the feelings.
Yeah.
So that's what I like to do. And like when I also work with actors, I think I like to build the trust. And I always try to have a strong backstory for my characters and talk about that in my acting.
Yeah, so it's very collaborative, and you
and
you make sure
like, actors actors have their own methods as well,
right.
Especially good actors, they bring a lot of good stuff. So I just want we have the same understanding and just talk to them, maybe rehearse a little bit, and after that when we go on set, I trust them.
Right. Good. Yeah.
Or like I don't do a lot of, I'm not saying I don't direct them, but
yeah,
I like them to have like more freedom.
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that's
but like this freshness in this
yeah,
scene.
exactly. So it sounds like you make sure that you guys are obviously in the same story, you both really understand the characters, and then you let them fly with it.
Yeah.
And let it, yeah, I love that. And do you find, because you often are the writer, director, and producer, do you find, like, to what degree do you find that the end result was like very different than what you envisioned when you were writing? Have you ever had an
Oh my God, yeah, it really happens. But happily, sometimes it becomes much better, and sometimes, like for example, my last film that you saw, the end result became better than what I saw. I mean, what I had in mind.
Yeah.
Because of like the editing and all that, it really helped. But sometimes, like it happens. Sometimes you shoot something and then it's not there.
Yeah.
And my advice is that don't give up. Especially if it's a feature film. Like, go do pickup scenes and like reach to that vision that you always wanted. Don't give up.
Unless
for short films, maybe you don't want to do that, the budget is limited, I don't know. But for a short film, it's like, okay, you make something, try to make it work. But if you have a feature, if you have a project that like documentaries or anything, that it's been a lot of work, so don't give up on your project.
Definitely.
Get consultation,
different eyes on it, because sometimes sometimes if you've worked on something so closely for too long, you can't see it with fresh eyes anymore, so sometimes just getting another opinion or someone else to look at it.
I've seen films that they were like, they shot the film, they sent it to the festival, they got rejected, and then they did they got consultations and they did reshoot some parts and all that, and then resubmit again, and they were successful.
Wow, it's amazing. It's such an amazing process. Because every single part of it is so impactful. Like the editing completely changes the film. The music completely changes the film. Like everything, It's like you can't control it all. You can do, it's just really amazing.
Yes,
so
I
cool.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you need all that together to see, the end result.
Right. Yeah. It's so amazing. So what is the process of like submitting to film festivals?
Oh my God. That's the part that I don't really like that much. To be honest, like, and I if I could, or if there's any chance, I would hire someone just to do it for me. But it's like you need to build a relationship with the festivals
Oh,
and
okay.
festival programmers, and like send it to them directly so they watch it, and then you know that if it's good, especially like feature films, they usually get invitation.
Yeah.
But like for short film is way more difficult, you know, to do that because short films are less profitable, you know.
Okay.
But feature film you can you sell the tickets, it's 2 hours, 1 hour, whatever, and so usually they're more open.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all about like building
Relationship.
connections, like
Yeah.
this is the industry of networking and connection,
Right.
and
People.
especially for like festivals, and I also realized that PR is very important.
Oh, interesting.
PR and marketing is very important. Like
Right.
it's very important that, for example, you send sorry, you send a film to the festival, and there are these reviews and
Oh,
these
I see.
nice press kit and reviews, and they tell you, oh, this film is about this. So they look at it with a different eye.
Right. It's so
As you
interesting.
send your film
Yeah.
plain, you know, a lot of distribution, sometimes they just see the trailer and see the press release other than watching the film itself.
That's fascinating.
This is how like
Yeah.
distribution companies buy their films.
Yeah.
So because they usually buy before
Right. I
bring
know.
it,
Like
you
now that
know,
you're, yeah, when I
they
hear
watch
you
the
say
trailer.
that, it makes sense, but I don't necessarily I haven't necessarily thought of that like that way, but it's kind of crazy, but it makes sense, you know?
It's a lot of marketing.
Yeah.
Festivals are a lot of marketing. So
That's something, yeah.
yeah, you should always like think of a budget, even like for short film. But feature film, definitely you should have a
Yeah.
budget. You should have like your PR team working for it before
Right.
the release. Yeah,
So you include your PR and marketing, and you have to include all that in your budget.
you have
Take
to
that
include
into
that
account.
in the budget,
Yeah.
or you lose it.
Right. Oh my gosh, so interesting.
Yeah, and you need at least between 50 to 100K for that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. For someone that wants to be a producer, director, or writer, what advice do you have for them to develop their voice, like to figure out the specificity of how to pitch themselves, you know?
Yeah, I think for me is like try to define yourself, trying to realize, okay, what you like, what you don't like, if there's a new specific genre you like, if there's a
Right.
specific subject matter that you like, uh, define that and put that in your pitch of yourself or in your bio or whatever, and tell everyone about it.
Yeah.
Some people don't like it. They say, oh my god, it's gonna limit our opportunities, but I think it's always, you can always change that. You can
Right. You can
always
always
ask,
change that.
but it's always good to start from somewhere and
Right. And be specific.
be a specific, have a specific, if you have genre or whatever, you know, have that and develop, and then have something that proves that. And if for
Right.
example, I like women issues, or you have a film that's just like about that.
Yeah.
And then yeah, and after that, you know, things happen
Naturally.
organically.
Right. Yeah.
You don't have to do much.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense. I'm gonna ask you a few questions just for fun, okay? Um, what is your horoscope sign, and does that mean anything to you?
Oh yes, I'm a Libra. Okay,
Okay.
I am what is called Libra stellium, which means I have multiple placement in Libra. So I
Oh,
have my sun is in Libra, sun, moon, Jupiter, Pluto, and there was another one, Saturn.
okay.
They're all
Well,
in Libra, and then my rising is Aquarius.
okay.
And yeah, it means a lot. It means like it defines what I do, right?
That's so interesting.
Because
Yeah.
everything is in Libra, so it's about like balance, equality, being fair, you know, and especially Libra in Pluto is about like doing all this social work and try to bring harmony, peace, and balance to the world. I think I'm not saying that astrology is 100 correct, but there's something to it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think there's something to it, of course.
Yes,
you know? Yeah. Okay.
There's something to it, but I don't believe in like astrology predicting future. Yeah, everything is in your hands, but there's some specific things that means something.
Yeah, and I also just think it's fun personally.
Exactly, it's fun.
Okay, cool. What is something that you would tell your younger self?
I think like just don't be too hard on yourself. And be more confident. You know, like I would tell myself, like, be more confident, give yourself more respect, more value.
I feel like everyone can hear
I think when we're younger, we don't know our value. We don't, you know, we're more concerned about what people think of us, but we're not really concerned like what we mean to them as well. And if you know that you're worth something to other people, and definitely you do, then you act differently, you make different decisions. You know?
Yeah, that's such a beautiful answer. Amazing. And then what is something that you do to be the now?
Just to be now, like
to be present.
To be present, like deep breathing and grounding myself, going to the nature. That's like doing yoga for me.
Yeah, amazing. I love that. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you too.
I really appreciate it. Where can our listeners find you? Like find your work? Where should they go?
In my website for sure. AzadehNikzadeh.com.
Okay,
that's
perfect.
Website.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. I've loved this. You're really so amazing. It's so inspiring. Just amazing. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.